This edition of Italy TV is sponsored by Cola Vita, extra virgin olive oil. And Cheerio chopped tomatoes.
I'm here at Italy headquarters office in New York City. I'm here with three young executives, just like a meeting about the business, and they run the whole business behind Italy. So, guys, let's go to the store.
Andiamo.
I'm here with Alex. Alex, your experience with Italy, when did it start and how?
So I started in around 2008. I was working in finance, actually, at JP Morgan. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, and my brother told me about this place in Italy that had just opened, Italy. So I went to Torino, I saw it, we fell in love with it right away. So we actually knew the Farinettis who started the business, and we decided we wanted to be involved. So I ended up going to Japan. I spent a year in Japan, helping open 2 stores in Japan, and then I spent another year and a half in Torino, really learning the business. And then I came back to New York, and I've been running the store ever since. So I'm the general manager here, and now I'm working on opening Chicago. But I work a lot with Nicola and with Dino. Nicola lived here for a year and a half, and we work together running the store. We open the store together, and Dino's really the head buyer. He does all of the acquisitions for all the store that come from Italy, and so he manages all that part. And of course, you know, we've been doing this for the last 3-4 years. We work together. We're very good friends. We go out to dinner. You know, we're always together.
Nicola, you saw the reality of Italy from scratch, starting from nothing. How did you get involved into it?
I got involved because my father founded it, so he's the founder of Italy, and I was a student, a very bad student, that's the truth, but I was a student in Torino, January 2007, we opened the first one, and I got involved as a waiter because they need help, and every day growing a little bit since I moved to New York, and I opened up with Alex and Dino this place.
Among all the Italy's around the world, which one is your favorite one?
100% this one. I mean, I fall in love with New York, with the city, with the people. The story is amazing, and when you have this big success, you're always very happy because we've been working seriously hard, like 6-8 months, only working all day, all night, and get this back from a city that important. You feel very proud of yourselves. Probably the best part of my job is see people growing. There's nothing like a company that open a new store to grow. Because, you change position every month. If you're hungry and if you're foolish, as you used to say. And if you know what you're doing, you can grow so fast. And we have employees, they used to be bartender and now are general manager in groceries. And it's very awesome.
It's great because we are like a young group. The medium age here in this store is 28. Me, Alex, Adam and Nicola, we are like all 30, or maybe they are a little bit younger. I feel the older here, and I think it's amazing. And for us, the best is that we give a job to more than 600 employees, and this is incredible. This is like a really great, amazing.
Sounds like great. So you have like a meeting this morning. What did you guys talk about?
We were talking about our future, you know. We had like the discussion about the layout of our new store that we will open at the end of this year in Chicago. You know, I'm also working with Alex and Nicola about the new project around the world. In fact, next year Chicago, and then Istanbul, and then Dubai, and also other 3 stores in Italy that Nicola is running. One will be in Bari, another one in Florence, and another one in Milan. A lot of job.
Hi, I'm at Casa Italiana Zerilli Marimo at New York University, Center of Italian Culture in New York City. And now let's see what our food and wine expert Michelle and Charles Cicolone tried for us, one of my favorite dishes, tagliatelle alla bolognese.
Hi, I'm Michelle Cicolone,
And I'm Charles Cicolone.
and today we're tasting tagliatelle alla bolognese prepared by Chef Simone Parisotto. This is a classic recipe from Bologna, and the Bolognese are so proud of their fresh tagliatelle that at the Chamber of Commerce in Bologna Town Hall, you'll find a golden strand of tagliatelle, and it's the exact measurements, 1 millimeter by 6 millimeters long. Now the sauce is the classic version. It's made with ground veal and herbs, including rosemary, sage, and bay leaf, and that's all simmered together with some tomato until it's nice and thick and ready to eat and tossed with your pasta. Charles, I'll bet you've got a great wine to go with this.
Yes, I do. Today we have a Rosso di Montalcino, which comes from the town of Montalcino, which is just south of Siena in Tuscany. It is made from Sangiovese Grosso, which is the same grape that makes the famous Brunello di Montalcino. The Rosso di Montalcino, however, is aged less time, comes from younger vines, and therefore is ready to drink much sooner than Brunello, which can age for a number of years. Rosso di Montalcino is a full-bodied wine. It has really good red fruit flavors and has a lot of cherry flavor in it when it's showing very well. And I think a wine of this type goes very good with the Bolognese sauce because it won't be overwhelmed by the rich flavors of the food. And I think it will make a perfect combination.
Well, I can't wait to try
Let's
both
taste
the
the
wine
wine.
and the food. Oh boy, that looks great, and it's just perfectly.
They were right to put the gold.
The golden
tagliatelle,
tagliatelle,
right,
but you
right.
don't want to eat that one.
No, but
Well,
to
this
pay
is-
homage to it, they did very good job. Very
And
good.
our thanks to the chef, and buon appetito.
Ciao.
Our pleasure activist, Fred Plotkin, is talking to us about giallo, which literally means yellow, but today has a different meaning. For the iBook Corner, Professor Fred Gardafè of Queen's College at CUNY is suggesting us what to read this week.
The word for today is giallo. Giallo in Italian means yellow. But yellow for Italians does not mean frightened, fearful, the way it might be in English. Giallo in Italian means mystery, as in Agatha Christie, as in Miss Marple, as in Angela Lansbury, as in anyone who investigates or leads any kind of study of a mystery. That is what a giallo is in Italian. I can't say that I know exactly where it comes from, but if you say to an Italian, "È un giallo," it doesn't mean that it's something yellow, it means that it's a mystery. I prefer to think of mystery in a different way because when we go to Italy, it's a nation full of mystery, not murder mystery necessarily, but a mystery that how did such a country come to be? And I believe that the reason for that is that back in ancient times, the Romans obviously built roads, but they built roads with the idea of creating communities. They developed towns around the roads. They developed towns around rivers, which in effect were watery roads. They had a sense of public gathering so that everything was right in the middle of a town for a Roman. Everyone went to the piazza in the late afternoon. In other words, the Roman Forum. Now, you could say that that's a mystery, but the mystery is that the tradition continues to this day, wherever you go in Italy. More important, I think that a major difference between Italians and other people in the world is that elsewhere in the world, thanks to Oprah Winfrey and psychoanalysis, people feel they have to say everything about themselves. They keep nothing back. It was in an opera by Giuseppe Verdi, where the singer says, "Ogni cor nasconde un mistero." Every heart harbors a mystery. And part of what's fascinating when you meet Italians is they're friendly, of course, they're hospitable, but each Italian has a mystery, and that makes you want to know them better.
Hi, I picked up Sled Run by Ross Tallarico, a novel. Ross Tallarico is a poet, community writer, and has written many things, but this, I think, is his great contribution to American culture through the Italian-American lens. It's called Sled Run. It's a story of a young boy by the name of Rosario, who is called Rosie, grows up in Rochester, New York, and has friends, all, you know, as young boys all do, but some of his friends are involved in organized crime. Some of his friends are his friends from school. But it's all about this incredible coming of age within this group of people up in Rochester, where the meaning of Christmas, you can't have giving without taking. And what these guys do is they go in and they steal from the stores, and then they give to the orphans and the poor people. And the stores allow them to come in and steal, at least allow them through the friendships that are made between the gangsters and the security guards and so on. So it's a really unique Christmas story that rivals even Dylan Thomas's Child Christmas in Wales and Gene Shepard's Christmas Story, which you see on TV every year. So I think this is going to make a mark in the years to come. The prose is very clean, the story is very clear, and it's a story I think that eventually should be made into a movie at some point.
We met for you Massimo Ranieri, Italian pop singer, film and stage actor, was recently featured in a documentary called Passione by John Turturro that talks about the music in Naples, his birth town. And he was also featured in a mini-series written by Eduardo De Filippo. He has a message for young people.
Non eravate nati quando sono stato in America la prima volta, per cui ti lascio immaginare quanti anni sono che vengo qui in America.
So che avevi 13 anni.
Sì, lontano 64. Mi ricordo solo che stavo per essere scritturato nel più grande locale che c'è qui, e credo ci sia ancora, downtown, il Latin Quarter. Ero minorenne e quindi non potevo cantare in un locale dove si spacciavano alcolici, balletti, donne stupende. Cioè. Stavo per essere scritturato, poi non successe, se no forse sarei rimasto qua in America, credo. E poi sono tornato nel 68, nel 70, nel 73, nel 76, e poi basta, un po' di tempo non sono più tornato. Sono venuto poi per con il teatro, qui al Mark Hellinger, che hanno buttato giù e ne hanno fatto un palazzo, un teatro bellissimo, uno dei più antichi qui a New York, con Pulcinella. E poi da allora non sono mai più tornato. Sono tornato nel 2002, dopo 15 anni, sì, dopo 15 anni. Ero un fanciullo, poi un ragazzino, poi un ragazzo, e poi un uomo. Insomma, all'epoca mia non sapevi niente. Io New York la vedevo solo nei film di Humphrey Bogart o non so che cosa. Lì era veramente lo sconvolgimento e c'era la curiosità di scoprire la città. E poi io trovo che questo, insomma, sia veramente un paese bellissimo, da est a ovest, insomma, è proprio un bellissimo paese.
La musica americana, cosa ascolti, cosa ascoltavi, cosa porti con te dell'America dentro?
Ma io della musica americana sono vecchio, per cui mi porto dentro Ray Charles, Aretha Franklin, Sarah Vaughan, perché li ho visti. Cosa vi siete persi voi giovani? Cosa vi siete persi? Quella era la musica, era il cuore della musica. Nessuno mi obbliga, ma io come uomo ho l'obbligo di ascoltare tutto, per cui passo dal rap, adesso infatti dopo io scendo, vado nei negozi a comprarmi i miei CD, alla classica, all'opera, alla camera, rhythm and blues, ai Beatles, ai Rolling Stones, a Jefferson Airplane, tutto, Led Zeppelin, tutto, perché devo ascoltare, devo capire cosa mi succede intorno e perché succedono certe cose. E amo tutta la musica in generale. La disco music no, non mi è mai piaciuta, no, quello lo confesso. Io sono un operaio dello spettacolo.
Sei un operaio dello spettacolo,
Esatto.
però uno forse l'operaio più completo, che fai tantissime cose e le fai tutte quante ad altissimo livello.
Io ci provo, è un obbligo per chi fa questo mestiere cercare di fare e toccare tutte le 5 righe del pentagramma. È una carta da musica e a volte ci si ferma al primo rigo e io ho tentato sempre di andare sopra e dentro il rigo. A volte mi riesce, a volte meno bene, ma lo faccio sempre con grande onestà, questo sì.
Vuoi parlare un po' di Napoli?
Il mio rapporto con Napoli è di un uomo che ha lasciato Napoli e abita a Roma da 40 anni, però ovviamente ho scelto Roma proprio per stare vicino alla mia città, pigliare la macchina, andare a Napoli e mangiare una pizza, dico per dire, o andare a casa mia, andare a trovare mamma e i miei fratelli e stare 48 ore insieme. Napoli è Napoli, sta lì, è la mia città, è il mio sangue. Senza di essa non potrei vivere, insomma, no? È il mio DNA.
I giovani che vogliono cantare, suonare, secondo te in Italia sono messi così male oggi?
No, beati loro, tra virgolette, dico,
perché sono
beati loro.
giovani.
Hanno molti canali, ma questi molti canali poi possono essere dei terribili nemici per loro stessi. Quello è un mezzo terribile, quello lì. Se tu ridi, sì, ridi. Lo sai che quello è un mezzo terribile. Meraviglioso, però è un cane che si morde la coda poi. Io, quando sono stato qua, dicevo, io un giorno voglio diventare famoso, diventare cantante, un giorno. Parlo anche per i miei amici, cantanti e colleghi. A volte quando ci troviamo insieme parliamo delle nostre feste di piazza, i nostri matrimoni, i nostri battesimi, che andavi a cantare. E questo oggi non esiste più. Oggi i giovani hanno la televisione, però poi li bruciano, inevitabilmente, perché non hanno un passato, hanno un piccolo presente. E il passato deve essere il tuo futuro, e se non c'è quello è difficile costruire un futuro.
Però l'impressione mia è che Massimo Ranieri ha sempre studiato e continua a studiare fino alla
Io
fine.
sono sempre in prova.
Non sempre invece lo fanno i ragazzi.
Io sono sempre in prova. Laddove non lavoro, vado in sala e provo. Vuoi la danza, vuoi la recitazione, ma io sono sempre in prova. E questo è importante, è sentirsi sempre in prova.
Grazie Massimo.
Grazie a te.
For our people, we met Sally Fisher, who runs a PR company that specializes in promoting Italian culture in New York.
My name is Sally Fisher, and I'm actually a New York City native. I was born in Manhattan, My parents were born in Brooklyn. Our family is Jewish, and it's so funny because when I was in high school, I went to Florence on an exchange program as a junior in high school, and I fell in love with the city, I fell in love with the lifestyle, I fell in love with Italy, I fell in love with a young boy, and I ended up staying and finishing high school and then going to university in Italy. I was so young, I was 16 when I went over. I totally absorbed the language and the lifestyle, and I kind of became Italian. And I would come back here and my girlfriends would, not recognize me. And for many years, when I first moved back, I was Italian. I had only Italian friends, I worked for Italian companies, and then little by little I started to really become absorbed again in the American way of life and in my New York life. And I worked for Rizzoli, and I had the fantastic job of being secretary of all of the magazines. It was just a terrific way to totally re-immerse myself in American life, but also report back to a country that I was familiar with, which was Italy. So I started to write my own stories, and I really just had a cartolina from New York, a postcard from New York, and I loved it. And sometimes even today I think, oh, if I had time, that's what I'd like to go back and do. But being a journalist is so similar to being in PR, because what you have to know how to do as a journalist is you have to know how to answer people's questions and what their curiosities are and what they want to know about. And that's what I try to do in PR. Sally Fisher Public Relations has been a wonderful vehicle for me to work with Italy. Over the years, we've had the pleasure of working with fashion brands from Italy, many food brands. We've promoted pastas and olive oils and wines. And Americans really care about Italian brands. The Year of Italian Culture has been launched here now, and it will be the Year of Italian Culture for the whole 2013. I think that's so wonderful. It isn't going to only be in New York, because oftentimes that's what happens. Be in Washington and Philadelphia, Los Angeles, Seattle, San Francisco, Boston. It's terrific. And there are little Italys in all of those areas, and there are so many beautiful Italian books and films and foods and cities, and so many roads that are unexamined and have been untraveled and not learned yet by Americans. And I see Americans being interested in and becoming engaged in.
And now let's look at the events that we covered for you in the past and give you some suggestions for the upcoming week.
There are lots of Italian Americans in my books because these are the people I was closest to through my formative years. Well, all the characters come out of my head, so in a sense, all the characters are me, but I like to say especially the female characters are me.
There's something unique about this. Someone like Franklin Tricchia does with his fiction. Proof of the pudding is that he has blurbs here not only from Lisa Scottoline, but also from Don DeLillo. So two major writers in American letters in general who are also Italian American and who write about their heritage.
Buonasera a tutti, welcome everybody, and welcome to Valeria Bolillo.
Everything that I've learned in this since I'm 16, 30 years, is from being, an actress. Really, I'm not always glad to think that that's the thing, but it is. It's my life.
Holocaust Remembrance Ceremony, Giorno della Memoria. Reading of the names of all the Italian Jews which died during the Holocaust. This annual all-day memorial event falls on the day of the Auschwitz liberation. concert, Canzoniere Grecanico Salentino, experience southern Italy's Pizzica Taranta through 7 young performers who are reinventing the dance tradition for today's global audience. Exhibition, Gay Diaries, a collection of compelling, gay male-oriented photographs by 11 Italian-based artists, which represent the beauty of the nude male body.
We met 3 young executives from Italy making their business in New York. We heard to the message from Ranieri, and now it's time to make your own career. I'll see you next time. Ciao.
This edition of Italy TV is sponsored by Rachel Ray's signature specialty food line. From her all-natural, extra virgin olive oil and balsamic vinegar to her stock in a box, all designed for preparing quick and convenient meals at home in less time with delicious results. And Baci Perugina chocolates. Say I love you the Italian way.